little brown girl, you are so beautiful to me. I hope you see. Hey there,
hi guys, my name is Timika Newhouse, best-selling author of Sugar Hill and the publisher of Delphine Publications, and you are tuned to Traces of Mika Season 2, The Other Side of Healing. Well, the situation that made me walk away from my children last summer had a lot to do with my ex-husband.
Mm-hmm.
So I require my children to be great. You know, I want them to have good grades. Their room needs to be on order.
Mm-hmm.
Look good when you go outside. So when Deja talks about, oh, I was called ugly and stupid, no, she wasn't.
Mm-mm.
When you are a parent and you're taking care of your children every day, day to day, one of your roles as that parent is to make sure your children look good.
Yeah.
They get good grades.
Smell good.
They're learning life skills as well as books skills. Like you have to teach them in every single way in life. So I had to tell you when you wasn't looking your great, your best. I had to tell you when you wasn't making the best grades. And then there are consequences to every action.
Right.
So if you don't get good grades, then you don't get punished for that. Or you get grounded for that. But see, when I did those things, she would then go and talk with her dad, who would then say, I don't know why mama's doing that. I don't know why I wish she wouldn't do that. Like, just co-signing, like they buddies and friends. Like, what are we doing, sir? When you are co-parenting, is supposed to be a partnership.
Right.
You're supposed to be on the same page. My children have never been abused by me. Have I been, do I have an effect on their emotional state? Yes. Because I've dealt with my own unhappiness and my own grief, my own anger. Because I'm human.
Right. You're
I'm allowed to do these things. I'm allowed to have these moments.
Right.
Just because I have these moments doesn't mean I'm not a good person.
Right.
But it was amplified for my children so that, one, I could be disliked. Two, so he can come back into the home. And it weighed on me heavily. Even so the children would even lie to, CPS. I had CPS at my house 3 times interviewing me, asking me was I abusing my children. Because my children would go and say these stories because they wanted to just go to their dad. And every single time, obviously they realized what was going on, but that's hurtful. That's very, like, y'all, not y'all, but when you process this, I'm a human being.
Right.
I have my ex-husband doing this, I have my children doing this, but then I'm supposed to walk around smiling. I'm supposed to walk around being joyous when I'm just doing all this chaos.
Right.
That doesn't even add up. So I reacted to the things that are being done to me. And when I knew that I wasn't the best person for my children to be around, because Georgia is just me here. And then I have my built-in family. I have you, and I have other friends that's my built-in family.
Right.
But my blood is all in Texas.
Yeah.
And I wanted my children to now experience being around their family because, I'm dealing with my own unhappiness. I'm dealing with my own going through depression, going through my highs and my lows. But as far as my emotions, sometimes I can't even get out of bed. And that's not the best thing for children to be around.
Right.
So you know what I did? and hands to the sky, I regret this. But I got a house in Texas.
I remember.
So the kids can be there with my sister, with their dad, and I be here. Because being in Georgia, this is where I'm happy. This is where I like to be. And I just come back and forth. I had an agreement with my ex-husband where he would obviously pay the bills and, cover everything because I did everything. I got the house for y'all.
Right.
So take care of the bills, pay the rent. Get there, he didn't do that.
Yeah.
And my children got there, he didn't pay rent not one time. Maybe one time. Maybe one. Let me give him one if I remember. And then it got to the point where I had to pay because now if I don't pay, it's going to go on my credit. It's going to start ruining everything I've been trying to build. And little by little, my bank account is going like this. And he's still doing nothing. Still doing nothing. Living in my house.
Yeah.
But yet, still, I'm the issue. I'm the problem. I'm trying every single option for everybody to be happy. So if I get this house and now I got to pay for the house too, even though now we ain't even married. So you still don't want to do anything? And then the children are still upset with me when now I can't even afford to pay for this house over here.
Right.
Now I'm to the point where my emotional, my mental state has taken over and I'm not even as functional as I used to be. So my money is depleting in every single way. So last year, when I walked away from being a mother, doing the day-to-day task of being a mother, I walked away from my companies. I walked away from other relationships, some friendships. I was letting a lot of things go. Yeah. And I need to just focus on me. I just need to focus on me.
Well, you said some key little nuggets right there that I want to tap in on. So, because you did all this, because you was Captain Save-A-Ho with everything, right? You had that cape on.
Right.
And
Captain
you
Save-A-Ho.
and you had the idea in your head for your storybook life. Do you think Deja, because she's so similar to you, had her own ideas of what this storybook life was going to be, and now you were what was interrupting her storybook life?
Yes.
So that is maybe what is more her frustration, because it's not, because I don't want this to be like, oh, everybody's against Mika. I don't think that. But I do think in terms of Deja being a girl, being a kid, and being so much like you.
Right.
I think she may have had a storybook life built in her head. And now, because you said it, you have your highs and lows, your mental grief, your mental stuff that you've been going through. I think Deja may have those same components.
She did.
And so, do you think that it's more of a depression and she doesn't really know what that is or what it looks like because she wants her parents together, because she wants you in Texas, because she wants that more than she's just mad at you? Because you got your own mental stuff that you're going through.
Right.
So let's talk about that. And now when you're saying that, analyze that in the point of Deja.
To answer your question, yes.
Okay.
Deja went through a time period where she was cutting.
Yeah.
And she talks about it now, which is why I'm okay with with even mentioning it, because she's on the other side of healing on that. And so she used to cut, and she was just so unhappy, and I was so unhappy too. Mm-hmm. So I know that yes. We in Junior, he was so unhappy. And it's so frustrating that one person can change a dynamic of 3 lives in that way.
Right.
For me, I was so unhappy because my children were so unhappy. And there was no way for me to really make it right. Either I allow this man to come back into my home, into my space, and then now I'm just unhappy, and he just do whatever the hell he wants to do because I care about what my children think. Or I separate. I purposely keep him out of my children's life, and then I'm looked at bad in that way too. Because how do you keep a man away from his children? What are my options here?
Right.
Deja definitely was going through her mental battle, and I honestly feel that if her dad would have said, because it doesn't. I've told Deja I love you.
Yeah.
So many different times. I've hugged Deja so many times. I've taken Deja with me and I've shared my dreams. We've had private moments. We've had vulnerable moments. I've been in therapy for 6 years now, just dealing with my own mental health. Mm-hmm. And I've brought my children in. They have their own sessions. My children have sports, they have bands, or they have concerts. I'm there at every single one. You know, overextending myself because just trying to show them that, hey, I'm here. I love you. Like, where's this unhappiness coming from? Why are you so unhappy?
Right.
What else do I have to do? Die? Like, is that the option? And it was just, I knew that I couldn't technically save her in that moment because I couldn't save myself. I didn't know what the hell to do with my own self. I was still trying to figure it out myself. And if she would have had a father who was selfless, a father who says, I love you, I messed up.
Right.
Your mom she's doing a great job. She's doing all of this. She's doing that. I haven't done anything. Well, he don't technically have to do that, but come on, let's speak some truth and some honesty. I haven't provided or done anything to help you guys.
Right.
But don't put that energy towards your mom. It's okay. I'm here. I love you. I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
Those were never the conversations. And this is not just for me guessing.
Mm-hmm.
I walked away from my children last summer because my daughter had a secret phone.
Oh, Lord. Yes.
Let's get into the secret phone.
The secret phone, y'all.
My daughter had a secret phone for 6 months because I went back through the messages.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the longest threads was with her dad. So her dad knew that she had this secret phone. So one, you're teaching your daughter to sneak and lie and disrespect her mom continuously, still.
Yeah.
Then the messages, then you're talking about me with your child as if I'm a stranger or a hoe on the street. He clearly told his daughter that I made their lives miserable.
Yeah.
He clearly told his daughter and co-signed, I don't like her. I don't know why she does that. She's so ridiculous, or she's so extra. She's so mean. I hate her. Like, all these hateful words. And this is something that he has done since Deja was 7, 8 years old. And definitely escalated when I kicked him out of my home. Like, you can dislike me. You can have issues with me all day, every day. Whatever that issue may be.
Right.
Because I gave so much.
Right.
So even with that, you should be appreciative that I did those things and I didn't have to. When my husband was convicted of raping another woman who he still had relations with after the fact, let me put that out there.
Yeah.
I still was like, you know what, I don't want you living on the street. I'm gonna give you some time, to get your footing for you to be all right, and you can go on. But he used that time to just use with my niceness and whatever I wanted to offer him.
You gave me so much right now.
I'm just saying.
So, I've been sitting over here just want to ask you this question.
Oh God, what?
So you keep talking about your mental illness and your mental state and things like that. Did you discover this during this time frame, or did you discover it after? And how do you feel that your mental well-being contributed to what's going on right now?
I knew something was wrong with my brain because there are time periods that I don't quite remember. I don't even remember half of my pregnancy with my son. So now my son is 13. So this is something that's been happening. But then again, when you look at my time, every year, and a lot of women, we go through this, Black women, which is why they call us strong. We don't get the chance to heal. We don't get the chance to reflect on the things that have happened to us.
No.
So I would experience things. I would experience trauma, disappointments, whatever the case may be, and I would just keep going. I didn't have the chance.
Right.
Even with being married, I didn't have the chance.
Right.
Like, to just heal or to just be Mika. I didn't have the chance to do that. So over the years, that built up, it built up something inside of me that one summer I couldn't control. I talk about this on season 1 of Trace and Mika, where You found me.
Yeah.
I don't know, face down, whatever. It was one of these days where this was it. I wanted to just be done with life. I wanted to be done with every single thing, and it had nothing. It had nothing to do with one specific thing. It was just everything. Life was hard, and I wasn't receiving a lot of love and a lot of support at all. I mean, I didn't have an overseer. All of my grandparents are gone. My close aunts and uncles gone or away in Texas. My mother dead. My father never around. My sister in and out of jail. Like it's these constant things where I don't have that many people to turn to.
Right.
And yes, my who I am, the makeup of me, those three people, my children and my ex-husband, they were a huge factor in who I am now, who I was even then. I wasn't the best person to be around, which is why Deja can say or feel that way.
Right.
Because when you don't really like someone, she doesn't like me. My daughter does not like me, as you can clearly see. When someone tells you something, if I say, "Oh, girl, your hair it doesn't quite fit, or you looking at, that's not the best outfit." It comes off like me saying, "Oh, your hair ugly," or "Oh, you look like trash." It comes off negative. She's never going to receive what I say in a positive light. Period. Ever. Until that wall is broken down. And of course, me and her have had this conversation about how she receives my words. And I've gotten way better with delivering them softer because I used to be a little rough with them. But she would come back and be like, "Well, I'm not sure if anyone else or if dad is the issue. I don't know. I just think that we just have to work on our relationship." This is her talking to me.
Yeah.
I just feel like we just have to work on our relationship. And I told Deja, I said, "Well, that's you're absolutely right. But there's two people in this. Before now, I didn't say anything about how I felt because I'm the mother.
Right.
I'm not supposed to sit here and just tell you when I'm sad or when things going on in my life. I don't put my burdens on my children.
You're not supposed to.
I'm not supposed to do that. So with me not putting my burdens on my children, it comes off like I don't care because their dad puts his burdens on them. They knew every time he was going through it.
Yeah.
And then I was supposed to come in and help him not go through it. That's just wrong.
Right.
So I was telling her, I'm like, okay, well, now that you're older, let's have this conversation. It's two people in this thing, mother and a daughter. What are you contributing to this dynamic into this relationship?
What'd she say?
Deja says nothing. Deja normally says nothing. She kind of just blinks out and just says nothing. She tries in different acts, like cooking, or she may get me something, or she may want to watch TV, but it's like she has to try with me.
It's not natural.
It's not natural at all. And you guys may be wondering, where is she at? Why she ain't part of this conversation? She's in Texas. She chose to leave.
She went back.
Even after I asked her, or we talked about us working on our dynamic, she didn't want to be here. And I said, okay.
So let me ask you this question. And take yourself out of it. Just look at your relationship and your dynamic with your children. And from the outside looking in, do you think you were abusive at any time with them? Or do you think you were just tough loving it? Because that's two different things. And sometimes people put it in the same content, but it's not.
My tough love, I had my moments where I could have been a little bit more softer. Or I had my moments where I probably could have delivered it better. But was I abusive? No. Does it have an effect on a person? Yeah. Just like the good, the bad, the indifferent has an effect.
Right.
But was I abusive? No. What I've learned the most about parenting or just being a single mother is communicating more.
Right.
And being all right with not just getting it right.
Right.
I just wish that I had a really good partner on that end to kind of help that dynamic. Basically, my children would have been a lot happier.
So, Mr. Junior Newhouse, can you tell us who you are? Like, I know I call you Junior, but who are you besides just Junior?
My full name is Marcus Evans Newhouse Jr. I'm 13. I'm the son and assistant of Timika Newhouse,
Ooh.
founder of AMBC, and she made Black Writers Weekend.
I mean, you still got that swag. I mean, we probably still sell some books. When you were little, y'all, when he was little, I used to take him to the flea market on Saturdays out here and have him selling books. And how much money you would get for a book, every book you sold?
I don't know, like $5.
And
I was making money.
He cleared out my trunk. I would borrow him from his mama every weekend and at the event. So come through. You still got that swag.
I could do it. I could do it every week.
Ooh. Okay, I may have to.
For a price.
For a price? You charging me?
Of course I am. I would charge everybody. You ain't no different.
I thought it was your girlfriend.
Well, you are my girlfriend, but still.
Okay.
I need some money.
We gotta talk about this off camera, because you put me on blast on camera. You supposed to be like, I got you, Miss Nicola. Dang. We ain't got that relationship no more?
We do. It's just...
Texas brought this out? I mean, like, whoa. Like, what happened in Texas, son? Where's my baby?
I ain't no baby no more. I'm a teenager.
Oh, okay. How was Texas? Did you miss me while you were in Texas?
I miss everybody when I was in Texas.
So, what happened? Did you like it there?
Well, there were some ups, but it was mostly downs.
Downs? What happened?
My dad's new girlfriend was Keisha. We had a lot of problems at first. I didn't have my own room. Mm-hmm. I shared a room with 2 people, then 3. I moved down to the living room for like a few months, and I moved back up. Wasn't comfortable anywhere, and then we moved, and like everyone's emotional relationship got worse. It was a lot.
Okay, so look, I only want you to say what you're comfortable with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is just a conversation in terms of like your mom and Deja's relationship, but I guess we kind of do need to know how you feel, because you've been the young man of the house through everything. So when you say things were going up and down, like, did you want to go to Texas originally?
Well, no, not really. I wanted to stay here, but it wasn't really my choice.
Oh, wow. Like, what happened to you being a kid? Like, what made you think you had to go?
Well, it's mostly my sister, because I want to stick to my sister sticking through, because even if I don't like her, I love her, and she's still my sister.
Right. So you want to protect your sister. Okay. So how was Texas besides the living arrangements?
It was okay. Well, not okay actually. My school was awful. My relationships with everybody in there was deteriorating, except for probably my uncle. I was usually hungry. My dad usually wasn't there. He was gone for like hours at a time. I barely saw him. Wasn't good.
What do you mean hungry? There wasn't food in the house? Like, or you just didn't want to cook it? Why? What do you mean you were hungry?
Well, I don't know how to cook things, so, and most of the time I was either home alone or with with Deja, and Deja was usually in her room, in somebody's room, watching TV or something. So I usually had to fend for myself, and when I did fend for myself, there was usually nothing in there, and I didn't know how to cook, so I was usually just left there, just having to like um I had to like pick food every few days that I had to eat, but I wasn't hungry. It was just that there wasn't much food in the house.
Did you tell your mom you weren't happy with that?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
It's never really went through my head.
Hmm. How was school? Did you like school?
No, it was awful. It was my school was probably the worst part about moving to Texas. It was a very it was in the hood. So I'm not a hood kid. I've literally been I've lived in Georgia for more than 3/4 of my life,
Right.
and just from that just change, I didn't and it didn't sit well with me, and I didn't fit in at all. I only made like 3 friends in that entire school, and there's only one that I still talk to.
So, besides it being the hood, like, was it just because when you say hood, like, we're used to the suburbs and like better books, better teachers, or was it with your friends and bullying? Was it like what was the issue? The building being older, you're used to new stuff. Like, what was it?
Um, it was more with the people than anything because I'm completely fine of living of going to schools in like old buildings, old books because well I had to use everything they got, but it was the people. People didn't like me at all.
Why?
That I just don't know. Cause I tried to be friendly, that didn't work. When I tried to be like them, that didn't work. So I was just there, I guess.
Did you tell your dad then if you didn't tell your mom?
I think I told my mom, but I definitely told my dad.
And what did he do? Like, were they bullying you? Like, besides being not friendly, did you tell a teacher? Like,
Oh, the teachers didn't do anything. When I told them, they barely did anything.
were you being bullied or were they just mean?
Bullying. It was definitely bullying because I've been pushed into a table. I've been punched. I've been pushed into a locker. Um, I was thrown. A book was thrown at my head. Um,
And nobody did anything?
nope. They didn't even get like ISS or anything.
Hmm. Okay. All right. So, with that being said, and you had to move back to Texas, and then you were put in this situation, right? Like, what was going through your head? What made you feel like why you had to go there? Was it because of Deja? Was it because of your mom? Was it because of your father? Like, what did you internalize why you were there?
It was more my parents because Deja told me directly that if she could she would come out to that school and like she would come out to that school and straighten it out. But I felt like I had to stay there for my mom mostly because I didn't want to put any more stress on her. And with my dad, I just didn't. I want to put stress on him because he already had like 2 3 jobs. He was always gone. It's nothing I could really do.
So what do you mean putting stress on your mom? Like, what do you, why do you feel that you were there?
Well, I've been told directly, and I knew it. I knew myself that it wasn't because of me. It mostly wasn't because of me. And even if I knew, even if they said it wasn't because of me, I still felt like I still felt like most of it was me.
Why?
I made
Why?
I made a lot of mistakes, and I feel like those mistakes were fatal.
What kind of mistakes?
Um, um, not listening to my mom about some directions she told us about, and just being a nuisance.
Why were you being a nuisance, though? Did you think it was going to make your dad come back or them get back together? Like, what was in your head while you were doing that?
Well, I don't know. I really don't, because it wasn't it wasn't my dad anymore. It wasn't her anymore. It was just me.
How do you feel about your mom and Deja's relationship?
Their relationship is it's very broken. It's repairable, but it takes two people.
What makes it broken?
Um, part of it, my mom. Well, it's all three. It's all three of them actually. It was her, my mom, my sister, and my dad. Cause my dad, he was manipulative towards me and my sister, and
What does manipulative mean, King, Mr. 13-year-old? You've been throwing out some words that I do not know 13-year-olds use like this on a regular basis. So what is your interpretation of manipulative?
he he twisted words to where he twisted words and he twisted our opinions. Like he would basically feed the fire.
So like what's an example? Like with the manipulation? Like what give me something that he did that manipulated you.
So let's take a time where I did something and my mom got on me about it and I was angry. I called my dad. Oh, it was usually I called my dad and he was like he would always when I would tell him what happened, he was like, well, why is she like that? Why did she do that? And it would just feed the fire because those are the exact questions that was going on in my head.
But he didn't explain to you what you did wrong for her to.
Nope, never, not once.
So do you think that's part of the reason there's destruction with Deja and your mom?
Absolutely.
So how do you think that could be fixed?
Um. Well, it will take my mom, it will take my sister and me to tell my dad to just stop. Stop. Stop it. It's been going on for too long.
Have you told him that yourself?
I want to, but I haven't really talked to him lately.
So I was talking to your mom earlier and she told me about this secret phone. So you knew about the secret phone, right?
Mm-mm.
You didn't know about the secret phone? Okay. You sure?
Nope.
Because I thought you knew about this phone that she was texting on. How did you know that your dad was coming that time in the middle of the night then?
I thought she already had a phone.
Okay. So, why isn't Deja here?
She wanted to go back. She wanted to go back to Texas.
In your opinion, living in both places, do you think Texas is better for Deja?
No, not at all.
How do you think Deja was when she was in Texas?
She was she was definitely happier because she just needed time. She needed time and space away from my mother. But that environment isn't good for her.
Did she have to share a room?
Well, at first, yes, she did. But once we moved, no.
Okay. If Deja was here, what would you tell Deja?
I would ask her why. Why are you so reluctant to with mama? Because I've been it's been hard for me, but I've been starting to open up at these past few years with my mother. But she just still rock hard. There's just a big old wall between her and my mom, and she doesn't want to break it down.
And what would you tell your mom?
I sincerely do not know because she's done all she can. She's done everything. But just didn't work.
Do you think the way you were raised and how you seen and experienced your mother, right, as a single mother, do you think that affected the way you treated your children?
Of course.
Do you think it was good? Do you think you've been better? Like what?
It was great. Look at my kids. My kids have never gone hungry. My kids have never not had shoes on their feet. They had a roof over their head. They had a mother that was there every day. They physically saw me every day.
Right.
Whether it was good or bad, chick was there. They went to the best schools.
Right.
Diverse schools at that. They've traveled around the whole entire country. They're well cultured. They're well diverse. They articulate well. They're well mannered. Hell yeah, I've done a great job.
No, baby. I know you've done a phenomenal job. I tell you, happy Mother's Day, Father's Day, happy every day.
Right,
you know?
Father's Day too. Thanks.
But what I'm saying is, from the way that you were raised, from your mother, do you feel that toughness that you've gotten from your mother it made you be the person that you were for them?
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
And yes.
Okay.
Because if my mother was not as, and first of all, I respect and love my mother in a totally different way. And if it wasn't for those teachings and also my godmother and her teachings, I would have not had the mental strength and the physical strength to do it all on my own for all those years.
Right.
And to deal with that, the mental and abuse and the manipulation like that for years. Like it was, if it wasn't for that, it was those early teachings and her being a hard worker where I was able to provide above and beyond for my kids, and where I was able to show them, different things that I wasn't able, to be able to experience. But yeah, I appreciate the way my mother and my godmother raised me. Yeah, even like we didn't have much. Like I remember, growing up in maybe by high school, our home at the point, it became really roach infested, and we didn't really have much. But I didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah.
We ate like the same meals every week. But I ate.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have a big home.
Right.
But I had a home. Like, what is we, so it's like those type of things, like I'm very grateful for that.
Right.
My children, on the other hand, I don't know, man. I think sometimes we get caught up in trying to give our children the things that we didn't have, and they kind of lose touch. with being appreciative just for life, being appreciative to be able to breathe, clean air, to be able to have lights, to have food, and have two parents. They got two parents.
Yeah.
Their parents may be imperfect, but they love them. And that's something I never had. So I think my children and how I went about raising them. Yeah. My mother, yeah, she was a great influence. I want to take my experience, and you've had your own experience with your own ex-husband. Like, Lord Jesus, I think we need to get into a better place of healing altogether. I think that Black men need to be held more accountable. They also need to be more of a protector. Of their wives, their mothers, their daughters. And they need to get more in tune with their own feelings and their own emotions. Because when they are not, that creates the man being absent in the home. And there are a lot of homes now that do not have a Black man in the house. And I tried it. But you see, mine didn't work out at all and not for my doing. But we have to get to the point of where we're being partners now.
Right.
And a Black woman doesn't have to always just be so strong. And then a Black man he's not succumbing to the system, or he's not being honest, and he's not being faithful, and he's not being loyal. Like, we have to really get to the other side of healing. And it starts with accountability.
Yeah.
You got to be accountable for your actions, and your own feelings and your own emotions, and start to self-heal before you start loving on somebody else. Yeah. And before you start procreating with somebody else, because now we're just going to create more damage, and we got to stop this generational curse. So my goal, and I'm going to continue to create those conversations with my children. And hey, maybe one day my daughter will be open, and that wall will come down. Junior, my son, his walls will come down.
Yeah.
But with Deja, I'm still hopeful, and it will only work in that situation if her dad has an honest conversation about his role in breaking up his family.
Let me ask you this last question, and this is totally off topic, but it kind of fits, right? Which would you have preferred? Because my ex-husband, when we broke up, he just bounced.
Right.
And my kids, I have 3 children. I have 2 that's biologically mine, 1 that's not. But there's their brother. They feel like he left them. Right? So would you have preferred him just leaving? Or even though we don't agree with how he's fighting, at least he's still fighting for the relationship, the family? Which one would you have preferred, though? I don't know.
My ex-husband was fighting for security. He was just fighting for safety. But my ex-husband didn't protect my feelings. He didn't protect me. He didn't pour into me. He didn't uplift me. I didn't get anything positive from being with that person.
I'm talking about for the kids, though. Like, him fighting for the kids.
He could still do that. That has nothing to do with me.
Which way would you prefer, though? The fight or the leave?
Now that I'm out of it, I would have preferred him just to have been gone. Because if you can't be around and just bring positivity, love, and light, and not burdens and guilt, like we're supposed to make your life okay, we don't know. Your children weren't supposed to experience that. They're not supposed to know when you're going through it.
No.
That's not what they're supposed. That's not right.
No, and I think men just need to figure that out. And I'm happy we're having this conversation because it's not really a healthy balance. There's some men that are there, and after the breakup, it's good. But it's like what I've seen with a lot of men. If they break up, they're fighting you, and they just leave. And I think if we can just gain that
healthy balance.
Yeah.
It starts with friendship.
Yeah.
Which is something I wanted with my ex-husband, because I didn't have, which is why I did not mind helping him, and helping him kind of try to find his way after he messed up, because that's what you're supposed to do for
Right.
family, basically. Like, you're supposed to kind of just help them find their way. Like, that's just, and I've done that in many ways, not just with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it didn't work because it takes two people. It takes a certain type of individuals in this dynamic for that to work. And again, we have to get to the other side of healing.
Yeah.
The accountability for your actions and understanding your emotions and your mental health. Like, it's on you to make you happy, nobody else. And when you come together as a whole individual, that unit can work.
Yeah.
If not, it's not going to work. So it's not up to somebody else to make you happy. And when you make a mistake, you made the mistake.
Let's pray for partnership for the future.
Let's pray for partnerships, strong partnerships.
Yeah.
So I speak strong partnerships, and everybody who's watching this video, I speak it over your life, and I pray that it manifests for you.
Yeah, not just in the man and woman, in friendships, with your children. We just need strong partnerships.
Yep.
I think the world would be a lot better.
It starts with honesty. Be honest with yourself.
First step is admitting.
Yep. And then figure out a way to be better. That's all.
High five, friend.
High five for being better.
Go ahead, girl.
Because I know I am.
I know. I'm like my little black girl magic right now.
Right. Don't we look cute? I'm raised.
I know.
Little brown girl.
All right. Cut.
I just want you to know that your hair and your lips and your skin, melanin, it's all beautiful. Hey there, little brown girl. I just want you to know.